Alright, so I'm getting ready to try and figure out what to do with this control to come off the DR1. It was burned out. Someone had repainted it, and one thing you don't really want to do is paint your electrical connections. Not sure if that's what burned it out or not, but kind of hard to start when you can't even get power through all the connections. Another collector told me all the DR1s he runs across are really rusty like this too on their controls. Now this unit was leaking SO2, so I think some of this could be caused by it. But this control needs some work if it's going to make good electrical connections and be reliable. Now, according to the manual, I think we're working on a CR-1050-E-1 control. I know it had a catalog number on it. It was just barely still stuck on when I started. This isn't all that burnt on its connections. This one's a little more than the others. But I think this can all be cleaned up probably and reused. The rivets don't make an electrical connection. They just hold the brass bar in place, so they're not that critical. Looks like fun. Alright, so this base has actually got steel pieces that are threaded underneath the brass. Back under here, and they go clear back to this other end, and they're retained by the same rivet that holds the brass. I don't know that I want to have to redo the rivets. I could, I guess, but I'll probably see if I can clean them without going that far. Alright everyone, I've got things lubed up. They're also rusty with some Kroil. I'm going to start to try and take this apart, but I want to mention before you take any controls apart, these old ones, these bellows have to be treated properly. If you just go taking it apart at room temperature, there'll be too much pressure. That bellows will expand, possibly even split and rupture. Definitely be out of calibration when you try and put your control back together. So what you do is you take your sensing tubes and cool it. And I've used ice and salt before to make the water nice and cold. Get it down to normal evaporating temperatures. That'll compress this bellows. You can take it out while it's still in the ice water. You'll want to take it loose and get it out of there and make a clamp out of plumber's strap or something to hold it in position. And then you can pull the sensing tube out of the ice water and rinse the salt off. I'm not going to do that part right away, but I wanted to mention it first. I'm probably going to take this overload heater and bimetal and stuff off first, I think, if it will. So I'm having a little fun getting the screws broke loose, of course, but got this one loose, got that one on top loose, got this little cutter pin loose, straight. This should lift out. And there we go. Hopefully my wires are in good shape to that, not about to break. Looks like they're intact. Alright, so I poked a little hole in my cardboard here so I can stick the sensing tube down through it. The start resistor the DRs have, I didn't want to unscrew from this piece yet, so I got the screw out from the bottom side that holds that. I'm going to let it all soak some more. I checked it. It's evidently number 16 in the book, And the picture showing all the starting resistors they had still tests 6 ohms like it should. I've also got this here cotter key that holds this part in. It's got the on-off indicator and so forth on it. It's got a spring right here. Gotta see if that's gonna fit off of there. It comes up. If it comes up. Extra corrosion or something on it. I didn't put any penetrating oil on that part. Grab a little real fine wet dry sandpaper I had nearby. Still doesn't want to come off the easiest. Nope, came off so fast there, the spring came out before I knew it. I've also got the screws for this piece loose. I don't know if it'll come out for sure. That's the on-off and reset or whatever actuator. And it's got a little spring and washer deal under it too. I don't know, I might have to have the bellows out of the way before that's going to come up and out. Guess we'll stick that back on there for right now. The noise you've been hearing in the background slightly maybe is the vacuum pump over here running on the DR1 tonight. It's been holding the vacuum too, so that's a good thing. I let it sit for 45 minutes and the vacuum held. Alright, so I'm getting ready to take this piece off right now. Got the screws loose. It's got a wire that hooks to one side of this series coil that works with the starting. Hooks to it here. The back side looks like it's got a washer with that screw. Nice rusty looking one. Bet they'd make this all out of brass maybe, if they would have been better maybe. Now let's see, the other screw is the one on the end of this. That's also going to take this conductor loose on the back. This should be loose, yep. Nice and rusty on the bottom side. Corroded some on the top. This is evidently supposed to be able to move back and forth. which it's not doing too freely anymore. Oh hey, it's starting to. Alright, so now I'm getting ready to try and take these coils off. I've got the things loose where the wires hook up here on the, I believe that's the shunt coil. Yes, that's the shunt coil for the starting circuit. Hooks up down there, and the other end hooks up here. The series coil behind it here, it hooks up here where I've already taken it loose. And on the bottom side, like I mentioned earlier. So this side I'm going to have to carefully straighten. Okay, now it's sticking down a bit, isn't it? I'll just put this down there. That'll work. Except for now, you guys probably can't see. This rocker piece looks like it'll come off pretty easy if you're gentle. Looks like this should open up that much. Oh, that coil doesn't just lift off of there, it's crimped on to that. It's like the series coil will lift off its pin. Yep, it did. It's like this might need to stay on the assembly. Or actually it unscrews off the bottom. Right here. Maybe. Brass screw for sure there. Most of those others must not be. Oh my, I got penetrating oil in there further than I thought. I was trying to avoid getting it on the coils. Get a paper towel and dry it out. Alright, we're going to check these coils. This is a shunt coil. I don't know if the book tells us or not what it's supposed to be. I haven't looked. That is about 294 ohms. And the series coil a little trouble getting a good connection here. Not very clean evidently. Looks like it was about 16. Oh no, hold on. Might have to clean things off here a little. Oh, actually, it's only about 1 ohm maybe. Looks like real low resistance. This is pretty heavy wire. I found if I take these two screws out, I think I can lift the whole assembly out that the bellows is on still. There's a little thing that pushes up on that lever here. Would have been sitting in there. So right now I've still got that whole bellows contained and trapped. But if I want to clean all this up, I'll still have to freeze the bulb and take it out of here and take it out of this assembly and clamp it. Alright, so I've been getting these parts off, and there's one half your electrical prong connection. The contact for the start is actually not very burned up. I can't get this post to come off the base yet, so I may let that soak all night. Most of the rest of it's coming loose. I haven't been able to get this screw to turn either. As a matter of fact, I'm wallering it out more than I realized. This one I haven't tried to turn too much yet because I can't really get hold of much here. I'm afraid I'm going to just twist it in here, although it's not that rusty, so it should come loose. This one's already loose. A lot of these screws have gotten started back in what they came out of for right now. I can't remember. Yeah, this is loose also. And there's the main contact that looks pretty non-burred also, really. How good a view I'm getting for you guys. The other half of that's still on here, which would come off soon. I'm not getting a whole lot of light on that, am I? Not all that badly burnt. It's probably too much light, I suppose, for the video, but looks pretty good, really. I believe this is the, let's see, the bridle and the bridle spring here. I take that spring out. That's what helps create the rocking action when the points finally snap back and forth. That should come out. And this piece that's got the contact, main contact one half that moves back and forth, slides off other than the corrosion that's there. And now I gotta try and get the bellows off. For starters, it should stay retained in there if I'm careful and don't be moving it around. I've already loosened this nut. Nope, let's do that. Yeah, I should be able to do that without hurting it. The nut and the washer off. I've got these plates I cut out of some leftover pieces of an actual furnace motor, draft inducer motor that has balancing weights on it. I'll slide that on there first. Now I've got to make the end of that bulb cold, so I gotta finish getting my ice and salt mixture ready. So I've got my ice and salt water mix down to about 13 degrees. Should be cold enough, I would think. What I want to do, I'm going to take it. I've got stuff set up so I can have it sitting right down in it. I'll put about 6-8 inches in there. That should be enough. It's got most of the tension off of it. Not quite all of it, but most of it. I'm going to help hold this. Take this spring out. Okay, the hose is free of that. Got a mating one of these. Started. Well, right now I'm blocking your view with my hand, probably pretty good. Alright, now that can be pulled out of the ice and water down there. It's not going to spread open and rupture. Now it can be safely stored while I work on the rest of the control and get it ready. Of course, there had to be that one last screw that just would not come out. Held that start contact. I ended up grinding the head off. Hopefully I'll have enough screw there to get hold of it. Oh yeah. Should be able to get hold of it now and get it out. I'll have to come up with a new screw for there. I may be trying to come up with more than one for this thing if I can find them easy. Just put new ones maybe. Yeah, we're coming right out of there now. Now this part here, that spring goes between, looks like they all come off. If you unscrew this all the way, then this will come out. And that'll come off. And this pin just pulls right out on that. That's about as far as that's going to come apart. Oh, there's a washer on here. Washer on both of them at the bottom, I gotta remember. And other than taking the knob off the shaft, which isn't, if that knob is hexed, it's not lined up good, but maybe that's kind of starred, I don't remember. Guess we'll find out. Not with that screwdriver. Yeah, it is basically starred instead of hexed inside the knob. I couldn't remember for sure. Cool. Okay, the one thing I didn't get apart all the way is this start resistor and its base it screws into. The resistor still checks 6 ohms. You see if the conductor goes down, it appears to solder to this brass base, which is like a small candelabra base almost. But if I twist too hard trying to get this off there, I'm going to twist that brass and ruin it probably. I've had it soaking with more penetrating oil, but I don't know. I want to get it apart and clean it all, but I don't want to break it. So far all I'm doing is twisting the whole brass base with it. Might have to try a little gentle heat. If I get too much I'll unsolder things though, which that'd be easy enough to fix. We'll see. Alright, so I ended up just heating it up some with one of these. Didn't get it all that hot, and it was enough to break it loose. Nice. And I'll be able to clean everything up so it's got a good electrical connection, hopefully, when it all goes back together.